As all snooker players are aware, for some time there's been quite a number of suggestions as to what causes kicks in snooker. Some are quite ridiculous. As an example, is it electrostatics? It's too cold for the balls. Some say it's the type of chalk. Some have described the balls as being not smooth. They're all failed. There's only one cause, and it's not chalk. Chalk does not cause kicks in snooker. But the answer's so obvious and simple that it's gone unnoticed for years. Well, what is a kick? It's when the cue ball and the object ball do not make contact centre to centre. In other words, one ball is slightly lower or higher than the other, and so cannot meet centre to centre. So you then get a tiddlywink effect. It jumps. So how can an object ball end up either higher or lower than the cue ball? Maybe less than 1% are made by chalk. So you can ask the question in describing what a kick is, before we actually tell you what it is and what's causing it. Would you let your children play with their dinky motor cars at the start of every snooker game? Would you let them play with them on the cloth? Absolutely not. So why then would you use a triangle on wheels, as well as pushing the 15 heavy red balls from the bottom cush up towards the pink spot over and over again? What's it doing to the cloth? It's causing depressions invisible to the human eye. These depressions will not appear until about the 10th, 11th, 12th frame, until the triangle has made its mark in the cloth. This triangle is the main culprit of causing track depressions or furrows in the cloth. If the object ball comes to rest in one, it is slightly lower than the cue ball. That is why 99% of kicks take place around a pack of reds. Once a kick's been accomplished, it will throw the object ball off course. The thicker the cloth, the deeper the depressions, quite invisible to the human eye. Also, if the cue ball has to pass over the area of the furrows caused by the wheels and the 15 reds in the triangle, it will rumble over that area and leave the smoothness of the table and make a kick contact or a jump. We know that the furrows are there. As an example, if the pink has been potted and its spot is occupied, they put the pink, as we all know, in line with the pink spot as close to the reds as possible. You probably notice the referee's finger trying to put the pink as close to them reds as possible. But it keeps rolling back slightly. They can't do it. Why? It's in one of the furrows. If you put a ball on the table, it doesn't roll. If you potted the blue and put it on its spot, it doesn't roll anywhere. So you know that them furrows are there, because you can't put the pink as close to the reds as possible without it rolling back. When you were playing in your local club using the conventional triangle, did you ever get a kick? I've watched a lot of old snooker matches with Ray Reid and others. The table is full of chalk, but they didn't get a kick. Why? Because they weren't using a triangle on wheels. Only kicks have appeared, and that word has appeared since 1984. And that was when this triangle that the referees use began to be used, from 1984. So what's the solution then? Well, you want a triangle that's exactly like the conventional one, but you can line the reds up perfect. Once you do that, you will eliminate nearly all kicks. The only time you get a kick in any other part of the table is when the player is aiming down. When he aims down with his cue, the cue ball will leave the table slightly and it'll kind of bounce up to the object ball and cause a kick. There's no kicks in anywhere else in the table because that triangle is not being used in the balk area. It's only used at the other end of the table. This triangle that is being shown eliminates 100% of kicks that surround that area. Simple to use, sets the reds perfect every time. It cannot be improved on.